Alright, I've had this one on my list for quite a while. I'm going to go ahead and try it this time. As far as the tying goes, it's going to be pretty much one of those psychedelic ties. But we're going to do two of them. So I have two shirts. It's already been marked for the center line and turned inside out, since this will be an ice tie. And I'll go ahead and get started. Fold this one up real quick and then fold the second. Yes, this has been soaked in soda ash. Be sure to do that for at least 20 minutes before you work with Procyon dye. So let's go ahead and do a quick pattern on here. I'm not worried about the two matching, so I'm just going to do whatever. Alright, first one done, so time to do the second. Alright, so we have those two. My only goal was really to make them basically the same size so they can stack on top of each other. So, off to dye. Alright, I have both of these stacked in some foil. It says heavy duty aluminum foil. Hopefully that should work. And the colors I'm using are deep orange, scarlet, oxblood red, fuchsia, black cherry, cerulean blue, brilliant blue, forest green, and moss green. I have a general idea what I'm going to do here. Since it's in that order, I'm going to go ahead and kind of work out, maybe with some other little things. I don't know. You know me, I probably change my mind. Anyway, let's go ahead and do the dye. Alright, we'll let that melt through and then decide what to do. Obviously I'm going to have to come back in with another batch of ice at least one more time because of how thick this is going to be, but we'll see where we go from there. Alright, it's melted all the way through. I'm looking down here, I'm not sure you're not going to be able to see that. Oh, maybe you can. There isn't a pool or anything down there, but it has made it through both layers, at least on the edges. So I'm going to go ahead and do a second layer of ice. I mean, that was pretty much a given. I'm going to sprinkle some soda ash over. Make sure it doesn't wash out any of the dye. And then we'll just cover it up with ice. Alright. Oh, missed a spot. There we go. Let that melt through, and we'll take a look after that point. Alright. So, it's about halfway up the bottom shirt, so I'm going to do everything again. Put the soda ash and another round of ice. Let it sit and melt through, and that'll probably be the last cycle. Alright, it's been over 24 hours. This bottom one has sat in the dye liquid the entire time. Once that second batch of ice was through, it was pretty much beginning to fill up. And by the third, it was sitting about halfway up the second one the whole time. So we shall see how this turns out. Let's go ahead and do the washout. Alright, let's take a look at that top one. I'll go throw this in the washing machine, and we'll wash out this bottom one. Alright, let's take a look at this. So it'll be pretty easy to tell these two apart. And as the orange in the center, and the other has it across the sides of the metal. So this is like that. Go ahead and throw this in the washing machine, and then we'll take a final look at both. So here's shirt number one. I don't think it could get more saturated than this. This is pretty bright. Here's the front and back. And shirt number two. If you're looking for an acid washed look, this is definitely it. Now, you know I normally prefer the bright saturated colors, but this is a test just to see what would happen running it as a 2-layer, possibly more. And the look, I like the finished look, other than it not being centered. You know, that continues to happen. But anyway, I like the look. It actually works really well, especially if you know what it came from and how the design happened with this. Now obviously these were offset in order for the colors to be in different places. I do have another idea that I'm going to try that I think will result in more saturation on the second shirt. But overall, I think the results are pretty good. Certainly, this is different, and I've been doing this quite a while, and I don't think I've had this kind of look, even by using like old liquid dye, even that type of thing. it still doesn't have that kind of look to it. As I said, I have an idea, actually a couple more, as far as how to do this double stack, and those will be coming in future videos. I'm not going to say anything beyond that. I'm going to leave it as a surprise, but if you have any comments or suggestions, be sure to leave those below. And until next time, thanks for watching.